My new game is done. Chrono Shard is almost done. It's feature complete right now. So that means I still have to tweak a few things here and there, do some balancing. I'm going to be doing a beta test through the Discord, already called out for beta testers. So assembling names, sending out Steam playtest keys soon. But I'm not going to release my game. Well, eventually I am going to release my game, but not for a while. It's going to take some time. Figured that would be an interesting topic for this week's video. Why did I just create a game that I'm not releasing? So creating a game and not releasing it, explain yourself. Thing is, right now I'm preparing this video and also the next two videos, which are the end of year videos for Orangepixel. I'm splitting it up in two videos this year. The first video next week will talk about the games I released. One new game, a lot of work on classic games, extending my catalog to new markets. There's a lot there. I think this has been one of my most productive years in forever. Of course, if you watched the first video of this year and the last video of 2024, I had to be very productive. At that point, Orangepixel, without exaggeration, I was looking at the most likely last year running Orangepixel. Amongst a host of other things, it was just not a good outlook. But then this year, so many things changed and happened, and we're gonna talk about those things in the next two videos. And the main reason why I'm not releasing the game just yet, and might take maybe even more than a year, is revenue. Fairly simple, but I'll get into that in the final video of this year. So please make sure to subscribe and not miss the next two videos. A lot has changed, a lot of stuff to cover, and it's going to be an interesting 2026 because this game is now almost done and I can't wait to start on the next game because that's part of the plan, having a couple of games ready to go. I will still be working on Chrono Shard for at least the next few weeks, probably until the end of December. I have everything in there. The game is feature complete. It is a full package now, start to finish, end boss, and then some, which I've never done, but there's even more than just the end boss. And I'm very happy with it. But it still needs balancing. I'm not sure, the later levels might be too chaotic and messy, so I can probably remove the amount of enemies that spawn in that level and just make those that do spawn a little stronger. I still have to balance it all out, so I have to play a lot of games, but I'm also going to give the game to a bunch of people to test it, so I can iron out any bugs. And on top of all that, I still have some ideas that I want to try and add to the game. It's done, it's feature complete, but it doesn't mean I should stop working on it because there are still a few ideas I want to add to the game. So I'm going to focus on that in the next few weeks. And I can't wait to start on the new game, which is probably going to be Ashworld. But in a different form than the original Ashworld. It's going to be in that universe, that part of the Orangepixel universe. But maybe some extraction shooter type things going on. But let's not talk about that. Let me just show you some gameplay of Chrono Shard and show you some of the things I've been adding recently. Let me show you some of the new stuff I've been working on and why I think the game is now feature complete. Quickly dive into a level. Let me think. First thing we're gonna do is find a crate, which shouldn't be that hard. Okay, so we can, I'm gonna cheat myself into a couple of these situations or else it's gonna be a very long video. I need a metal crate, which is number 2. So spawn number 2. We can now pick up items and move them around. So especially with crates, that's going to be very nice because you can actually create a blockade at a hallway, for example, and it will stop or hold back creatures and entities. But we can also take cover behind these things now. So right now the enemy is at the other side of the crate. So when you're behind something that you can take cover behind, the player will kneel and your target square, that red square, will be on the other side of whatever you're sitting behind. So we can actually now shoot from cover, which adds a lot of extra tactics to the game. Of course, enemies can still shoot at these things as well. Once you shoot, if an enemy gets shot by you, even if you're in cover, it will shoot back, and a wooden crate will easily break. And if they start throwing grenades, well, there's not a lot of cover you can find. But it's a very nice addition to the game. It adds a little bit more strategy and tactics, which I think were missing in the original Space Grunts. Also, it will lower your accuracy. So it's fun to be in cover, and in some way it would maybe increase your accuracy, but you have to shoot behind stuff and things like that. So it will lower your accuracy and increase the miss rate. So you can still fire at enemies, but there's a chance you're missing them. But you can also upgrade that skill like a proper roguelike. All these systems are connected and interactive added to the game. Let me think of the next thing I can show you, which is probably gonna be in the next level. Let me see, a railgun would be nice just for this demonstration. Give me the railgun. Then let me see if everything that I need is created. Ah, here it is. I added, and for those that have been following the channel for a while and also played my other games, this might actually be a familiar sight. A crashed spaceship like Residual. We can go and enter this spaceship and we find a crate. And yeah, if you played Residual, this is a PDB. Except he's gonna be a lot less annoying in this game than he was in Residual. He's gonna be extremely helpful in this one, as he gives you a lot of extra powers. Now this is not a big spoiler. From this point on, if you actually want to grab or save or rescue PDB from his crate, he will be with you for the rest of the game, and he will actually help you with a bunch of things. Like he's now flying towards that crate to see if there's something in there of use. Actually, that one has the blue key, so I really want that one. And of course, he's gonna do that for all the crates and all the boxes. He will also check all these crystals and let you know if they are good or bad. Some of these crystals will create spores. This one has pink ones, so this one is a good one. But a lot of these crystals will generate acid or radiation or something like that. And you don't want to shoot those. So this is one of the things. I also added a couple of secret realms. I'm not gonna spoil those. This one you'll run into always. It's always, or most of the time, it's being generated for you, and you will run into it because PDB just gives you a lot of support in the game. You can still decide to not grab it. That's up to the player. There might actually be something there. Now, what I have been doing in the last couple of games is add a janitor. For those that played Gauntlet of Power, released last year, I had this janitor that comes in sweeping the dungeon floor, getting rid of all the bloodstains. For those that played Regulators earlier this year, you had to find the janitor and help him. He was always hiding in every level. If you rescued him, he would give you something that unlocks a different character. I just figured I'm gonna add it to this game as well. Alright, I think this is the level. So yeah, here is the janitor, or somebody that looks very much like him, and he is locked up. I've also been reworking all these dialogues. There's a lot in the game right now. They explain the game. A bunch of them you don't see right now because I've been playing the game already. Tutorials and other things that become tedious if you see them constantly are switched off after seeing them once. In the settings menu you can actually turn them back on. That also goes for all the animations. Unlock the time freeze pod, activate, and there he goes. We now have this guy stepping out, and we'll move back over here. Let's see if we can have a little talk with him. He looks very familiar. Not sure why. He gives you the Terraformer seeds. Right now that's the only thing he gives you. I might actually make a variation there. Another thing I've added to the game, Terraforming seeds. Let me get to a fun spot to use these. I'm going to be moving over here. We can now plant stuff or put stuff on the ground, in the ground. And one of these things is the terraforming seeds. They have different qualities. They will block various ooze creatures. Very good thing, because once you complete a level, you still have to get out of that level, and most of the humanoids will turn into zombie-like creatures controlled by the ooze, and they're chasing you everywhere. If you can already place these seeds in the area where you're gonna where you have to walk, you can already block paths for them, and that's gonna make your extraction a lot easier. Also, they can give you health if you walk on top of them. It's rare, but it happens every now and then. And they will grow new seeds, which you want, because once you get out of this level, the next level you might want to have more seeds. So don't forget to grab new seeds and make sure to start planting them every level. That's a lot of new things I've been adding to the game. Now I also reworked the end boss, which I can show you. It's not a spoiler, I already showed the boss, but I'm not going to show you how to destroy it. I'm not even going to show you what happens after it, but I am going to show you the animation of it. So let's go to the next level, which should trigger, in this case, the end boss. Obviously, it says I'm level 4 Ori station, but I changed a little bit to debug it. I should be at the end of this. And we have the end boss over here. I showed this a few weeks ago as I was drawing it. It's now fully operational. There's different steps you have to do to handle this boss without any spoilers, and then there's even more after that. Can't wait for people to actually do that and let me know that they did that. I'm very vague, but it's an end boss. So yeah, this was the biggest task. I don't like doing end bosses in games. This took, I've been delaying the work on this every time, again and again. Been doing all these other things, but I had to manage and wrap this up, which I now did. And that pretty much wraps up all the features that I wanted to add or needed to add to the game to release it. So that's been a lot of new things added to the game, and I wanted to show that because I'm almost wrapping up this year. Originally I wanted to release this game a few months ago already, or at least my original planning was 6 months of work on the game and then have it ready to ship. And if I look at all the days that I actually worked on the game, and if I compare it to the notes I have, I think I'm at maybe 7, maybe 8 months. So there's not a huge amount of extra time into this game, but it took a lot longer because in between I've been working on all these other games I have, updating them and doing other things in between. So it looks a lot longer and it feels longer, but overall this game took maybe, I'm gonna put it at 7 months of work. And seeing how big the game is, I think that's a decent portion. I can still add things to it, but it will be on the back burner as I am gonna be starting my new project. And then we'll have to see when we release this game. But I'm gonna talk about that in the next 2 videos from now, because things have changed for Orangepixel, and that just gives me a weird position to be in right now with creating games and then having to push them a little bit further into the future before they get released. We're gonna be doing a Switch version, which will then probably also just be sitting there, and hopefully we'll also do a PlayStation and Xbox version before they all get released at once, or maybe stepwise, but a lot later. I'm being vague, aren't I? I'm gonna explain it all in the next 2 videos. Trust me, there's gonna be an explanation for it, and it's all good. So yeah, Chrono Shard, new Space Grunts game. It's a proper turn-based roguelike. I'm very happy with it. There is a very old demo on Steam. We'll do an update to that at some point. Beta testing is happening on the Discord right now by the time this video goes live, I think. So yeah, if you think you can still add something to help me test this game and give me some feedback on it, you're welcome to come onto the Discord and check out how to do it. There's an announcement channel that has the information, and then we'll just have to figure out when to release this game. I also still need to have some good artwork done. I have an idea what I want. It's the Chrono Shard device, which I can show you. Well, actually, I probably want this big bad end boss on the image, possibly. And of course, this is the Chrono Shard device that makes everything possible. So I'm thinking we should have some artwork that at least shows this scene, maybe with some cool high resolution art. Then maybe somewhere in the dark, in the area behind there, the ooze, hypergate worm monster, portal monster thing. So I'll still have to find a artist for that, or maybe I can check with my friends at Handy Games who will help me with this game once it releases. Maybe they have an artist on board that has some free time. I'm gonna have to find out how we're gonna do that. But for now, that's it for this week's video. I was also struggling a bit with this video. Last week's video was awesome. I really enjoyed that one. Hope you did as well. It's not live as I'm recording this. It goes live in 3 days. So I'm not sure if you guys liked it. I loved last week's video, and also gonna enjoy making the next 2 videos, and see you there, hopefully. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below. If you have nothing to add, idle watcher, up to this point of the video, just drop the comment Hypergate, and we'll see you next week. Bye.